Good morning.
Do you like Doritos?
It's kind of weird. If I buy like a bag of Doritos and take them home, I rarely ever eat them. But
Is it that way with a lot of chips?
yeah, it is.
Yeah, buying a big bag of chips. What I'll do is I'll usually get to like where I've got maybe a quarter of a bag left, and then I don't eat them.
Because I really only eat chips. I guess I'm a liar because I'm eating them right now. But like when I'm eating like a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, like at
really
home you only eat chips.
Yeah. Like that's really the only time I'd eat chips is like if I'm eating a sandwich or a burger. And I really rarely eat a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
A burger, I guess, but usually I don't think I think about the chips in that moment.
Right.
I believe this is episode 23, Michael Jordan. Super awesome number.
That annoys me so much.
Yeah. That light thing, that's pretty bright.
If you're watching and you're wondering, if you're listening and you're wondering, we have a light sitting here in front of us that has a diffuser on the front of it, and the diffuser is not touching the side of the...
Yeah, so it's just like a shiny silver bright light.
So the light is coming through like the cone, and it's a little bit annoying.
So, episode 23. Today's a Monday. It's the 25th. And we went to see a Red Rocks worship concert.
Ooh.
It was pretty great. It was very interesting.
It was.
I guess just in the fact, like just some stuff happened, not even at the concert, but just, I feel like they were a little different than other people I've seen.
Yep.
Like no one's ever mentioned how, like they talked about that festival thing, right? Where they're like, and people just were eating turkey leg. And they're like, they're not a festival band.
They said they're not entertainers.
Yeah.
They know how to worship, they know how to have church, and that's it.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I think the only thing that'll be interesting to see is if they're still around 5 years from now, are they still that way? Or did they learn to be entertainers and then that's what they, started doing?
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see because it was like their first tour ever and it was like a week or two long.
Mm-hmm.
But super powerful.
It was
super awesome.
It was. Like I've not been to many concerts in my life just because when growing up we didn't go to any, and then being a young adult, we're poor, so we can't afford concerts. But it was such a good experience for me, just as a concert, but also as a place to just refuel myself and to
I was thinking that about you a lot that during that time, just like he hasn't got to do this in a long time, right? Because you're on the stage, even if it's a night of worship, you're on the stage.
Yeah.
And still different. Like even if you did get to go to like one service, let's just say every other month, it's still different, right? It's 3 songs and then a sermon and you're done. Like that, that goes quick. So I don't know. I thought that was really cool to get to see you do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. And also, I mean, it's worship. That's what I do for a living, but also that's what I enjoy most out of anything that I do, except for, of course, time with my wife. But I loved every bit of the time there at the church. It's going to look weird, man, but I'm about to get up and go turn on the air.
No, you can totally go get up the air. It's so hot. You can fix that light while you're up. So, a little bit about me while he's walking away. What's something about me? I've wanted a tattoo for a very, very long time. Never did it because I didn't want to spend the money on it. And now we're poor, so I still can't get one. My wife said if I got a job, I could get a tattoo. So I contemplated going to go get a job at McDonald's for like a week just so I could get a tattoo. But she said that's not how it works. But that's all right. Something else. There's really nothing interesting about me anymore. Oh, I'm now the Notre Dame freshman head basketball coach. That's pretty cool. So you should totally come out and cheer us on. Go team.
Where's that?
Lower. Right there. Up. Yeah. The people listening on Spotify are so confused. It's all right though, because he's coming to see. Have one of the best stories I think that I have ever seen, but
Yeah.
I think it would be one of the best stories I've ever heard because it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
And all just you can.
We were.
take control.
I'll start it. We were on our way up. We left it around 3:00, and the concert was
For
in
the
Springfield.
concert, yeah.
It was in Springfield, Illinois. So we were on our way up, leaving from Jackson around 3, and we were like, okay, we need to stop to eat dinner. So we decided we'd eat around the St. Louis area. Couldn't figure out what to eat because we had no cell service on the interstate for a very long time.
And there was a girl in the car. And they can't. I've never met a girl that's like, yeah, let's go eat here.
Yeah. So we decided we'll eat in Arnold, Missouri. And so then we started figuring out what's in Arnold. We wanted to eat at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A in Arnold is apparently temporarily closed. So
Should have probably checked it,
yeah.
but we didn't.
But if we would have went to Chick-fil-A, this wouldn't have happened to us. Which may have been a good thing.
May have probably, yeah.
So we decide we're going to go to Culver's. And
Good old butter burgers.
thinking back on it, I don't know why we ate at something we haven't ate. Why we ate at a place we haven't ate. That's something I like to do is when I go somewhere else, like I'll eat at a place where we don't have it back home. But we did, and it's cool. We went to Culver's. They were fairly busy, but we went in and ordered our food, and we were waiting.
I mean, our food probably took it seriously probably took about 30 minutes. I think it
did.
added about 30 minutes to our trip because we had 30 minutes till the concert started and we were supposed to be an hour early.
Yep. Taylor wanted to leave early to get food, and we ended up being later than what we would have been. That's wild.
What?
Those TVs just came on over there.
Oh.
If you haven't noticed, again, we're back here at this mysterious red wall.
I'm really tired of this red wall.
You tired of it?
It's just plain.
It is.
There's not much. I don't like the shelf we had either, though.
Yeah.
Because it made the camera look not straight. But it was straight.
Uh-huh.
We should go back to the story before people are lost.
Yeah. So
We'll come back to the red wall.
we standing there waiting on our food. One of the guys that went with us, he went to the bathroom.
And he has, what's his thing that he has?
I want to say it's COPD.
No, what's that stand for? Something bowel syndrome or
He has something wrong with his bowels. Like he develops ulcers in his small intestine.
so like when he has to go to the bathroom, he has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. The food passes through him very quickly.
Yeah.
So he goes to the bathroom while we're waiting on our food, and he comes out, and he's just got a blank stare on his face. He's tearing up.
His legs are like bent when he's walking. Like
Yeah.
he's just like, and he starts to like cry.
And he's just standing there in front of us. He's not saying anything. He won't say a word, won't move his head. And then in that moment, we start to smell poop. And because this guy has a problem with his bowels, we all assumed that he just pooped himself in Culver's 2 hours away from home.
And I'm just like, he couldn't talk, so he couldn't really answer our question of, did you crap yourself?
So that meant, to me, that meant yes.
Right. And he's sitting there crying.
Yes. And then we look over at the door.
We see the front door, and that's a Culver's. So if you've been to a Culver's, I think they're all like the same layout. So you walk in the front door, and you're in like a breezeway, and then there's a second door that gets you into the restaurant. But they're glass, you can see through. Well, we can there's a little counter by us, so we can really only see the breezeway area.
Yep.
We can't really see inside other than like the counters. There's like a wall and stuff. And there's literal poop all over the floor with a singular turd.
Yeah, someone had diarrhea. And
But we still thought it was Connor.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't him, so it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not. He did not poop himself.
Yes.
Let's just make a note of that.
Yes.
So don't think that's where this story ends. But
the reason he had the look on his face is one of the best parts of this entire story. He was in the bathroom in the stall, and some man
there's
tried
only
to open
one
the
stall.
door. Yeah,
And someone was trying to open the door. It was about the time he was standing up, pulling his pants up, getting ready to get out. So it was like whatever. And he just said he went to unlock the door.
And the dude, he just told me last night the full encounter in the bathroom. The man was leaning on the sink, like looking in the mirror, and he turned around and Connor said he had a look of despair on his face, like his life was over. And Connor then looks down, and there is a trail of diarrhea from the door of the bathroom to the front of the stall, and then like a foot or two over to the sink.
And then from the bathroom to the front door of the building.
Yes. So he pooped all the way from the breezeway to the bathroom. And that I thought that was the best part about the story, the encounter in the bathroom. Connor said he had a tiptoe like out, like you're walking in your
Which is
room,
why when we saw him like
floor.
walking like that, it's because he was dodging poop and he didn't know if he had poop on his shoe.
And worst part is that instead of the workers cleaning it up as soon as they saw it to make the experience in the restaurant that much better, no. If you're watching and you're from Arnold or you work with Culver's, there's a conversation that needs to be had with the employees at the Arnold, Missouri Culver's.
We sat there for half an hour. Probably took me 5 minutes because I walked in, went to the bathroom. Thank God I did it first.
Yeah.
Went in line, ordered. That probably took 10 minutes. So we probably waited on our actual food from the time of ordering to the food for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And
that happened like 5 minutes in.
Right. And about 2 minutes into it smelling and everybody realizing there's literally poop on the floor, one of the employees just walks over there and puts up a huge, I swear it's the biggest wet floor sign I've ever seen in my life. Just sets a wet floor sign by the front door and walks away.
Yep.
And some people can't see the lobby area, right, where they're eating. Mm-hmm. So some people are just looking around, kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, and what's the smell?
And that's when I decided to just flat out say, so no one here has poopery? And everybody was kind of like, what's he talking about? So, yeah, they didn't clean it up. I mean, 20 minutes in, they did not clean it up. Mm-mm. It smelled awful.
Yeah, and the employees knew about it because there were employees looking over at it, like going over to it.
This one laughing and holding their breath.
Yep, this one lady went over in a mask and paper towels, and I could tell she was going to clean it up, and then she just left.
Yeah, she turned around like, well, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
which I can't blame her. I probably would have just been like, if you're telling me to do that, I'm probably quitting.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have done it. Like I had to clean up.
Not with paper towels. I mean, like they mopped it. Like that's a lot smarter. But you better throw that mop away.
Like at my secular job, my restaurant job, if I had to clean up in the bathroom, I'd clean up with paper towels first, and then I'd mop it. Just because I don't want all that on our mop.
Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, I would have hoped they throw the mop away. Like, there's no way you're getting all that out. That's disgusting.
Mm-mm. But and then the man,
that was truly unbelievable.
Yeah, I never thought that I would encounter that out in public. Like at my job, I worked in a restaurant. I knew we had bathrooms. I knew some people just didn't make it to the bathrooms.
I understand pooping a little. You think it's a little tooty toot and it's just a little bit of poopy poop.
A lot. He did not.
But this dude, I don't know why he kept going to the bathroom. He should have just turned around and went back to his car because it all came out.
And then we saw him leaving, and there was no stopping him when he was leaving. He was out the door, and I saw Connor, we already said his name. So the dude, he left, and Connor goes, "That's him." And then I tried to look outside to see where he was at, and he was gone. That man dipped.
I would love to know if he was like from Arnold or if he was past. Like, what if he was 6 hours away? I mean, I guess you go to Walmart and change, but where are you going to shower? You're going to check in a hotel just to shower?
Yeah, it's got to be the worst thing ever. But then we had to eat our food.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have our food yet. And we were all troopers.
I don't know how in the world we did that. We got it to go. Mm-hmm. Which is partially why we were like standing in the lobby area waiting on our food, not sitting at a table. But if I had to eat it there, there's no way I could have. Like if we had to sit down with a tray, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah.
But eating it in the car, not gonna lie, I went to the car early to start eating, not so I could drive. It was so no one would mention it while I was eating. And then everybody got to the car and Connor starts talking about it, and y'all are like, "You gotta stop." Yeah. I'm like, "Thank God I finished my burger."
And then we talked about it like after we stopped eating all the way up there. We talked about it on the way back. We told everyone we knew yesterday at church.
I mean, it's truly funny. I mean, I feel horrible for the guy, but the dude in 2 weeks is gonna laugh his butt off that he did that. I hope he doesn't laugh his butt off, but he already did. But there is no story that can, I mean, you had to be there, I guess.
Yep.
Like, I think it's hilarious, but we also witnessed the entire thing. But I would love to know the % chance of that happening, like, to be able to see that. Yeah. It has to be, like, 1% chance that you see that happen.
It was a neat experience.
It was epic.
And it just so happened to be on like, we were going up to Red Rocks. And like we said, the concert was amazing. They had a guy who opened the night. Oh, I can't remember his name right now.
Jeremy?
I remember his last name was something Buckle.
Yeah. He was awesome.
I'm following him. Oh, I said I'm following him on Instagram. I don't have Instagram. To give you a little reference, I say sometimes on this podcast that it's good to just delete all social media because it's no good for you.
That's why you haven't responded to my reels I sent you at midnight last night that were absolutely hilarious.
I actually saw them this morning.
You did?
I deleted Instagram this morning.
You're like, okay, I'm tired of this dude.
Like, I think I downloaded Instagram to follow that dude on Instagram at the concert. I don't know if I had it downloaded already. But then I delete it because like I can catch up with people in person or on Facebook better than I can on Instagram. And there's just too much stupid stuff that I see on Instagram that makes it to where I don't want to get on. But followed him, and then he did the like child adoption portion. If you've ever been to a Christian concert, you know that is always something that happens. There's always a opportunity to quote unquote adopt a child, to send money every month to a child in need. And I'm really, really proud of us because we all, myself and my wife, we just adopted one, but Grayson and Connor, we all adopted a child.
Mine's 11. Yours is what, 8 or 6?
6.
Connor has 2 children.
Yep.
That's scary.
But let's
end it on this. We got 10 minutes. Let's go into a Christian realm because I wrote something down the other day.
Okay.
Pastors, leaders, and churches are all falling away. Correct?
Yeah.
Pastors seem to get burnt out. Why do you think that is? When we look at other countries in the world and see persecution, people getting killed for their faith, yada, yada, yada. But then there's people here in America, and they quit because they're quote-unquote burnt out. Mm-hmm. Is that a society thing? Is that we're spoiled issue? Is it an excuse, or is it logical?
I think one is an expectation thing, because especially in smaller churches, the pastor is expected to one-on-one lead and disciple every person in the church, and that's not realistic. That's not how it's not how the first Christians did it. Yes, Jesus discipled his 12 disciples, but then he told them to go out and make more disciples. The problem with modern church is that every person wants to get discipled by the lead pastor because they are the lead authority of their faith, or they make them the lead authority of their faith. And as a leader, as a pastor, I know that I need to train up people under me to lead the next generation. Like I can lead a few people. I can lead my 12, but I can't lead hundreds. I can't lead thousands as well as I can lead that 12. I can't pour into hundreds of people. I can pour into 12, and even 12 is hard. But I can pour into a few and lead them to go and make more disciples. But then the second thing is, I think that pastors are jumping into things way too quick. I mean, I was just listening to Pastor Chris on the Wrap this week, and he was talking about his first 3 years of ministry. The first 3 or first 7, he started preaching at 18, and he did not receive a single form of payment for 3 years. Then after that, he got a $125 stipend every week. But he's now been preaching for 32 years. And he said in that first 7 years at that church, he made a ton of mistakes, and we're going to. Anytime that you go into something, you're never going to not make a mistake. You're going to have problems. You're going to have things you need to fix. And I think the problem with pastors today is they go in and they encounter these problems and they just go ahead and quit because of that, because they don't feel like they can overcome this problem. They can't fix what was going on. And that's the reason we need mentors in life. Because on our own, most of the time we can't do much. But when you have someone there to encourage you and also to tell you when you're doing wrong, I want to say reprimand, but I don't like that word. I'll just stick with that, to tell you when you're doing wrong. We need that kind of person because that helps us grow. And Pastor Chris said he didn't have any mentors when he was growing up. I'm so thankful that the youth pastor here at Connection Point, that he poured into me, and other ministry leaders, the worship pastor, the media pastor, that they chose to pour into me, because if I didn't have them and I didn't have their encouragement in times where I did wrong or I failed, I would not be on staff at a church today.
That's good. I don't even remember when I wrote that down. No idea. But I thought it was good.
That is good. And I mean,
it's very current.
Yeah, and there is a very big decrease in the people going to seminary school today. Compared to 20, 30 years ago, it has dropped tremendously. And I mean, part of the reason for that is, of course, people not wanting to go into ministry, but also people are scared because of the way society is to go into ministry. Society today is very rapidly moving away from Christianity. And, it was easy to go into seminary when in the 50s through the 80s, when the United States of America seemed like a Christian country. And it does still today to an extent, but there are, so many other religions, so many other sects of faith that people choose to follow, but also there are so many people that are so against Christianity because of the way that they have been hurt by the church. And we've talked about that on here before, but if you're watching and you have also been hurt by the church, I want to let you know that you were not hurt by God. You were not hurt by Jesus. You were not hurt by the church. You were hurt by a person. We are imperfect people. Every person working in a church is imperfect. We make mistakes time and time again. And I just urge you to try to find some form of forgiveness for that person, not the church. The church did not hurt you. The person hurt you. People hurt you. Try to find some grace. Try to give some grace. It's so important. We receive grace every day, because if we didn't receive grace, then we would be miserable and we would go to hell eventually. But God gives us grace for the things that we do, for the mistakes that we make, and we are called to show that grace to other people as well.
Yeah. Well, episode 23 in the books. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching.
I have one more thing I want to say.
All right.
So, some of you may just see our videos, but we also post shorts throughout the week. And something that's very funny is when people who like make negative comments on our shorts, I don't think they realize the way the algorithm works on social media, where like if you comment, more people are going to see it. They're going to see the video. And so I think it's super ironic because we rarely ever get like positive comments anymore. It's all negative comments, but like that comment is making to where more people are seeing our video. So if you want to make a negative comment, go right ahead. Like I take joy in that negative comment.
The people watching us aren't the ones doing the negative comment, I don't think.
And it makes like, it doesn't do anything to me. You're like a negative comment. So I'm like, funny. Cool. I just care for the comment.
I just like it and heard it.
The other day you did that, like the face on it. That was so funny.
It was like an emoji, like just a smirk, like a little.
Yeah. Someone said no one cares. And you know what? That's a lie. People do care, and we get likes on our videos and positive comments. But I know for a fact people care because people tell me how encouraging this podcast is and how much they love it. So keep on putting negative comments on there. We love it.
Love you guys. We will see you next week for number 24, Kobe Bryant's number. Another good number. Rest in peace. Love y'all. Have a good week. Peace.
Peace.